Yep, ready. Right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this call. My name is Najro. I manage the Business and Enterprise team here at NEOM Council. As part of our Fairer NEOM policy, oh, someone's calling me right now. We are looking to support, obviously, local businesses to have access to the wide variety of opportunities that are arising and have access to those. And so as part of that, we have delivered previously training around procurement, which Andrea, who I'm going to introduce shortly, has kindly delivered previously. As now is the season for lots of similar events, we thought we'd put together another training with her to help you prepare for those. So I'd like to introduce Andrea Charles. So she's the Managing Director for Click Business Solution. So she's going to go into her presentation. Just before she does that, just to let you know, this is being recorded and we can share it later on. If you've got any chats and if you've got any questions, do put it on the chats. And if we don't get to cover it today, we will send that out later. We'll also send the slides over. So you don't need to take pictures or take notes, or you can make notes, but you don't need to take pictures of the slides. Right, Andrea, over to you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us this morning. This is a pre-Meet the Buyer event webinar, really, and on the 18th of October, lots of people are coming together to organise, to run a Meet the Buyer event, which is going to give you the opportunity as suppliers of products and services and works to meet buyers within the London area to talk about how you can sell to them, and that is what this is all about. So I run a tender writing business. So I actually work with small, medium-sized companies all over the UK to help them write tenders, proposals and bids to win work with big contractors, public sector, big buying organisations. So that's what I'm about and that's what I do. So I work with the public sector a lot and I understand what they want from suppliers, what they want from you, and how you can best sell to them. So there is an event on the 18th of October, but that's not the only event. Obviously, we are going to be talking about that event because it is being organised by NEOM as one of the partners with London City Airport and many others. But there's lots of Meet the Buyer events happening. And for 2.5, 3 years, while the pandemic was on, we were all shut away and we were all living on these kind of Zoom calls and team calls. But now the world is opened up again and there are lots of events happening. So you must be aware of what events are happening in your area or in the London area and how can you get involved with them. So I'm just here for an hour this morning just to give you some top tips and some really good advice about how you can get the best out of this event and other Meet the Buyer events that you go to. We're going to send out, Naj is going to send out after this hour's webinar this morning, a copy of all the slides, so you will get those. And there's also some handouts that I'm going to refer to, and he will send those out to you as well. So don't worry about scribbling too many notes down because obviously it's being recorded as well. So that's just a little bit about who I am and what I do, and hopefully why you're here, because you ultimately have got the opportunity in a couple of weeks' time to sit in front of people that buy what you sell, and you need to make the absolute most of that opportunity. I've been involved with organising Meet the Buyer events as well, and earlier this year I organised a huge Meet the Buyer event in the West Midlands, and we had 20 huge buyers from the public sector, from the NHS, from local councils, from construction companies, and we had 150 small businesses in the room. And all day they were talking to each other and making fabulous relationships, making fabulous contacts, and ultimately doing business together. And that's what this is all about. So I'm just going to take you through a series of slides. Please use the chat function if you want to ask a question. I will address all questions at the end, and I am going to open up at the end. If anybody wants to verbally ask any questions at the end, we will let people speak. And if we don't get a chance after the hour to answer all your questions, we will definitely get back to you by email, so don't worry. So The event on the 18th of October is basically an opportunity for you to meet commissioners or people that buy what you sell, and you all sell different things, but all of you on this call and every business out there has something that these buyers will want to buy at some point. There will be a lot of public sector buyers there. There's going to be a lot of councils there, and there's going to be a lot of big construction companies there, amongst others, that ultimately work for the public sector. So they're looking for people to get into that supply chain, and you maybe get an opportunity to subcontract through a bigger company into supplying the public sector. So there's going to be lots of people there for you to talk to. It's going to be a huge, what they call, networking opportunity for you to ensure that you get your company name, your products, your services, your construction expertise out there, and you can become known to local buyers in the London area that are buying what you sell. So that is ultimately what a Meet the Buyer event is all about. It's about putting buyers with local suppliers. And certainly I talk here for the public sector, so the councils and the NHS and any public sector buyers that will be at the event, they have to have local suppliers in their supply chain. And they also have to have small and medium-sized organisations in their supply chain. They cannot just deal with huge companies. They have to also have a certain percentage of smaller companies. So if you are one of those small local companies, there's a huge opportunity for you to supply what you do or what you sell into some of these buyers. So hopefully after this hour today, you will be able to understand a little bit more about how to be more prepared for the event and how to get the best out of your little meetings that you're going to have on the day. Okay, so here's just and this isn't actually up to date. There are now more organisations attending, and there are more buying organisations, so people that buy what you sell. They're joining every day. So you need to keep up to date with who is going to be at the event on the day. And there will be an opportunity at this event. All Meet the Buyer events run slightly differently and have different formats, but this event that is organised by Newham and London City Airport at the ExCeL in London on the 18th of October is going to have a format where there'll be some general presentations at the beginning of the event, and then you will go off and there will be 10-minute one-to-one slots. So you will get the opportunity on your own to talk to the buyers that you want to talk to on a one-to-one basis. It'll be a bit like speed dating. So you'll have your 10 minutes and then you'll move on and talk to the next buyer that you booked a slot with. But the key to this is that you need to book your slots. And in order to book your slots on a one-to-one with the buyers that you think your products or services are suitable for, you need to know who's going to be there. Now, I've put a selection of who's going to be there on the slide in front of you now, but there's more buyers joining all the time. There's another one that's come on this last couple of days, Glenman Corporation, which is another big construction organisation. And they're not on that slide because they've only joined in the last couple of days. So you need to keep up to date. Now, you will get these slides, so you will be able to click through the links. On the bottom of this slide you're looking at now, there's two links there. There's a website link to East London Meet the Buyer event, and then there is your registration link. And the second link, and when you get these slides that you can just click straight on and it'll take you straight to them, will take you to the site that you need to register to. And when you go to that site, you will get you will see something like this that says Meet the Buyer, East London, 18th of October, sponsored by London City Airport. And then you have to put your name and your company name and your details in. You have to say what kind of industry you are in. So are you in manufacturing? Are you in professional services? Are you in construction? And what you do. And there's a little bit more information about your company. So you do need to register on the site. So don't don't forget that is absolutely key to you being at this event, because places are limited and these Meet the Buyer events are hugely popular. So if you haven't already, make sure you register, make sure you go in and book your one-to-one slots with the people that you want to meet. Okay, now I have been given a heads up on the buyers that have already said that they're going to be there. They are looking for recruitment companies, print companies, metalwork, health and safety advisors, security companies, lots of construction, and whether that be M&E work, plumbing, but lots and lots of construction. So if you're in the construction area or industry, you need to be at this event. They're looking for marketing companies, FM services, so whether that be from cleaning to security again, but facilities management services. You know, there's people have said that they're looking for water hygiene, Legionella water testing, IT services. So there is heaps of opportunity, and I'm sure I've mentioned all that list I've just mentioned. I'm sure most of you out there that we go, oh, that's what we do. Oh, that's what we do. Get to this event, get registered, and make sure that you understand who is going to be there, what buying organisations are going to be there. So you need to do a bit of preparation. Don't just think, oh, I'll just rock up on the day and I'll just see who's there and I'll have a chat with people, because it's not going to work like that. And you need to book your slots, and the buyers will have 10 minutes with each company or each representative from the company. So you've got to get yourself booked into your slots, and then you've got to prepare for that 10 minutes or each 10 minutes that you're going to have with each different buyer. Okay. So once you've been to the website and you've seen the most up-to-date list of all the buying organisations that are going to be at this event, you then need to consider, okay, which buyers do we want to meet? Because realistically, you're probably not going to able to meet every single buyer that's there. You might be, but it doesn't always happen that way. So you need to look at the ones that you feel that your products or your services are most suited for. And this is where you need to do a bit of research on those buyers. So ideally, you need to go to the website and find out the most up-to-date list of all the buyers that are going to be at the event. And then you need to spend an afternoon Googling all those different organisations and finding out what they do, who they are, and what they buy. And do they buy what you sell? Because if they don't, there's no point in you spending 10 minutes with them. Spend 10 minutes with somebody that does buy what you do. So we already know at the event, we've got a lot of public sector organisations there. We've got councils. Obviously, we've got the London Borough of Newham, we've got Barking and Dagenham, we've got Redbridge, we've got Havering. So we've got a lot of public sector councils there. And pretty much councils buy everything. So they use all sorts of different services and supplies and works because they build things. So if it was me going to this event, I will be putting myself down for every single council and making sure I get in front of those buyers from the council. There's also lots of construction companies going to be there, specialised construction companies. Some of these construction companies build just houses, some build commercial, some build all of it. So if you're an M&E contractor or a plumbing company or a construction company yourself that's looking to subcontract, you need to understand what is your specialism and who is best suited to what we do, and make sure you get your one-to-one slots with them. So go away and research all those organisations that were on the screen, the last slide, and have a look at which ones are best suited to you. The universities are going to be there, you know. So there is lots and lots of companies, but you might not be able to sell to them all because your products or services might not be suited. Certainly with the public sector organisations, if you go onto their websites, they will publish their contract list. So all of those councils, so we've got Waltham Forest, Redbridge, we've got Newham, we've got Havering, we've got Barking and Dagenham, and there'll probably be more. There's also universities on the list. If you go to their individual websites and search under purchasing or procurement put that into their search, you should get a contract list come up. And there's an example on the screen of just a snippet of a contract list from the City of London's website. And you can see there that it tells you that they buy building fabric repairs and maintenance, and the current supplier is Skanska. Yeah, they also buy cleaning services, and their current supplier is Servest. But it tells you that they have a contract with them, and it tells you when that contract started and when that contract finishes. And if you're a cleaning company, it finishes in October this year, so they will have to go back out to tender again. So there's an opportunity that you can tender for the business. So you need to go away and do your research. You know, there's some others on there: courier services, electricity suppliers. You know, so councils certainly buy all sorts of different goods and products, but you need to find out what they supply and if they supply what you sell. And they're the ones that you need to be booking your one-to-ones with first, okay? Because they are right now buying what you sell. Okay, so once you've established who you want to meet based on do they buy what we sell, you then need to prepare yourself, as in you need to prepare a verbal introduction of who you are, what you do, what you sell, and why they should use you. You've got this opportunity. You are sitting on a one-to-one in front of a buyer that buys what you sell. So you've got this 10 minutes and you need to make the most of that 10 minutes. You need to make an impression, a good impression and a lasting impression, so that they will remember you and your organization. Okay. So I will send you, or you will be sent by email, because we have all your email addresses after this webinar, a marketing summary template. Okay, and it's on the screen, but you will be sent this so you can fill this in. And you need to basically complete this marketing summary template all about your company. Doesn't matter how big or how small your company is. You have got information that you need to tell a buyer about your organization. So if you fill this marketing summary template in, it'll focus you on what is good about your company, what you do well, what your company has achieved already today, who your company is already supplying with these services or goods or works. Who are you already doing work for? So you need to have a little bit, do some preparation time before any opportunity to meet a buyer. And it's just getting yourself prepared. And if you are prepared, you will give a much better account of yourself when you are sitting in front of that person that could buy what you sell. So obviously get all your contact details down, yeah? And if you've got Facebook or LinkedIn profiles, get all that information together on this summary. Also detail your company's experience or your own experience of what you do, what you sell. So if it's about your company, how big is your company? Where is your company located? How many staff does your company have? Or how many people do you subcontract? How long have you been trading? All this kind of information. You need to try and summarize previous jobs that you've completed or clients that you've helped or supplied goods or services to. If you've got any previous public sector work where you've worked with councils or universities or hospitals, get that down, because that will also be a real positive thing when you're talking to these buyers. Oh, well, we've supplied the public sector before. We've supplied so-and-so school or so-and-so hospital. So make sure that you document any public sector work you've done and any other of your clients that you know you can maybe name drop and say, you know, we've proved ourselves because we've supplied so-and-so before with whatever it is that you sell. If your company's got any certificates or accreditations, or you've got membership, or you've got a health and safety accreditation, or you've won an award at the Chamber of Commerce, or you've been nominated for, good work, or anything like that, that shows that you, as an individual, or your company has been recognised with a certificate and accreditation, something that's, blow your own trumpet is really what I'm trying to say here. Don't be modest. Yeah, you've got this one opportunity. You've got 10 minutes to impress that buyer with why they should pick you and not somebody else to have their money, basically. So you've got to blow your own trumpet and not be too modest. Okay, so if you're members of any industry bodies, or you've got a governing body in your industry, make sure that you let them know that. Get it down on your template. And then you need to write down your area of expertise. What is it that your company is a specialist at? Yeah, and who works for you, and what qualifications or expertise or experience of the people that work for you got. So if I am wanting to buy off your company, I need to know that your company is experienced, and what will probably be one of the telltale things of your experience is the people that work for you and how many years they've been doing that job and providing those services or products. Okay. And you also need to have a little think about any community benefits that your company can offer. And a lot of us think, oh, we're only tiny, we don't really do a lot of community stuff. Just by being a local company means you are probably employing local people, which is a community benefit. It is a benefit to the local economy if you have local employees. You might have young apprentices, you might have young trainees that you have taken on. Another huge benefit for the local community if you can offer young people an opportunity, or apprenticeships, that kind of thing. So make sure that you recognize that, and if you have got an apprentice or 2 or 3 young trainees, get that information down on your template. Do you pay living wage? Do you pay the real living wage? If you do, that's a benefit. Yeah. Have you got health and safety policy? Yeah. Do you have, as a company, have insurances, which we all have to have, public liability insurance, employers liability insurance. If you want to supply some of these bigger companies, you need to have that information to hand. So get it on your marketing summary template, who you're insured with and what values of insurance you have, because you might get asked that question in that 10-minute one-to-one, and you don't want to be fumbling around and going, oh, well, we've got insurance, but I don't know what it is. And so make sure you've got that information. Make sure on your marketing template, you've got your turnover and your profit information for the last couple of years, because you're going to be asked that by a buyer. You will always get one buyer that will say, so what does your company turn over and what was your profit last year? So again, you don't want to be going, it's like when you watch Dragon's Den. If any of you have watched Dragon's Den and people aren't prepared and they get asked a question by one of the dragons and they're going, and they have no idea what the answer is. And immediately it makes you look not prepared. So if you've got everything down on this template in one place, you can easily refer to it. And they're not going to mind if you refer. I mean, I'm one that cannot retain figures. I'm useless at retaining figures. If you ask me now what my company turnover was, I wouldn't know. But if I ever went into a meeting, I've got it all written down on my template so I can immediately go to it, because I don't retain figures very well. So it's not a problem having it as long as it's written down and you can answer that question. Because if you can't answer key questions about your own company to a buyer, what does that tell that buyer? They might go, they don't even know what their turnover is. So just have a think about the information, which is why I suggest you get it all down in one place on this template, and you will be sent a copy of this afterwards. Okay, so you don't want this to be War and Peace. It shouldn't be more than 2 sides of paper. It needs to look nice, because you can leave this with a buyer. So you can print 10, 11 of these off if it's nicely presented and leave it with a buyer. It's got your company logo on it, your company name on it, your contact details at the top. It's absolutely ideal to say, great to talk to you at the end of your 10-minute slot. I'd just like to leave my information with you, and it's all there in one place, and it's relevant information. Okay, so make sure you get that filled in after this webinar before the event. Make sure it looks nice, it's been proofread, you've got no errors in it, and then you can leave it with the buyer as well, which is even better. But really, really importantly, it's there for your reference during your 10-minute meeting, so that if you get asked a question and you don't know it off the top of your head, it's down there in front of you on your summary. I do know there's a couple of questions being asked, and there's somebody's put their hand up. So if I can just hold your question or make a note of it, and I will give you an opportunity at the end. So after this webinar, you'll be sent the handout template. Fill your marketing template in. You only need to do this once, but you probably need to print off about 8, 9, 10, depending on how many buyers you intend on meeting at the event. Okay, but that is all about you. And do not be modest. On the marketing summary template, you are selling yourself. Yeah, you are not being modest. You are giving that buyer lots of confidence about how what an expert you are in what you do, your experience, and how you are a local company and who you employ. And if you support any local community initiatives, and lots of us do work in our local communities, either personally or as a company, if you do, get it down on this summary, yeah, and let them know that, because that is all very, very, very positive from a buyer's point of view, looking at your company. Okay, they need to use local companies, and they need to use companies that are helping their local communities. So anything that you can do to prove that is really, really good. Excuse me, I've been full of cold all week, so I'm really, really hoarse. So I'm just keep drinking. So excuse me having a sip, but my voice is going. Okay, so you are going to book your one-to-one 10-minute session slots with all these fabulous buyers that are going to be at this event. And you need to have something to say. Don't just think you're going to rock up for your first 10-minute slot and go, hiya, I'm John, or I'm Andrea. You're going to be sitting with each buyer for 10 minutes. You can't expect them to do all the work. You've got to initiate the conversation. You've got your marketing template, so you can sit down and introduce yourself and introduce your company and talk to them a little bit. Do your verbal intro that you've practiced, because you've got all your information together. You're not just going to sit and read this word for word off a sheet. You need to engage with the buyer. You need to look at them in the eye, and you need to talk about your company with passion and with belief. And you need to make that buyer go, I really want to deal with Andrea. She looks like a really good company to deal with. I really want to deal with her. You will only get that if you're very passionate about who you are, what you do, and you're engaging with that buyer with eye contact. Okay, so make sure that you are very passionate. Okay, but you also need to have some good go-to questions ready to ask them, because you will have prepared your marketing summary, and maybe you'll talk about your company and your business for maybe 5 or 6 minutes, and then you've told them all about you. You want to know a little bit about them. You want to know who they work with, what they buy, what they want to see, what they like, what they don't like. So you need to have some good go-to questions ready for each buyer, and they will be different for the different buyers, because you won't necessarily ask the same questions to a council as you will to a construction company. So you need to look at who you're talking to and what are you going to ask them. But you should certainly be asking buyers, what current contracts or tender opportunities have you got for cleaning services or security services? It depends what you do. And when will they be coming up for renewal? Now, you might have been able to find that information out from the contract list that you've been and researched, but not all of those buyers attending are going to have a contract list. So a lot of them you will need to say, do you have a current contract with a supplier for water hygiene services? And if so, How's it going? Are they doing a good job? And when is it up for renewal? Because all contracts have a lifespan, and they come around full circle after 3 years, say, or 4 years, and they have to be renewed. And that's your opportunity to get in if that's what you want to do. So not all contracts and not all things that buyers buy have to go through a big full-blown tender process where you have to fill in reams and reams and reams and reams of paper. Some of them, they just require a very quick quote, and they just email out to a group of suppliers and say, give me your best quote and a timeline when you can do this work. So you maybe want to ask them that. What lower value or smaller opportunities for drain clearance do you have? Yeah. So again, that might not be relevant for all organisations, but it may well be for some. And you might, certainly if you want to win work with the public sector, so councils, hospitals, universities, they have to have this area of social value covered. So you might want to ask a supplier, so if I was offering you social value, what commitments, what would interest you most? So as a small company, I would like to help, but how can I help with your social value? What can I do that will be positive towards your social value? And they might say, if you could employ one apprentice, or if you could take one young person off the Kickstarter program, that would be amazing. And that's all we're looking for. Well, you can go, I can do that. And that's a positive thing for you. But unless you know what's important to them, they might want to say, well, we're only looking to use suppliers that are totally environmentally 100% no waste to landfill, very, very environmentally aware. They have, electric vehicles, and, that might be you, it might not, but you might want to ask the question. Okay, and a lot of really good questions come from listening and thinking on the spot. So obviously, once you've done your little 5 or 6 minute intro about you and your company, ask the buyer, could you tell me a little bit about your organisation and what you buy and what you're looking for, and see what they come back with. And then that might create some more questions, on the spot questions from you. Okay, so lots of buyers, if they are going out to a tender process, for example, they have to write a document called a scope of works or a specification document. And that basically tells suppliers like yourselves what it is that they want to buy and how they want it delivered. Now, sometimes they need to know more about you in the industry. So by meeting suppliers like you all are, they can understand more about your industry and best practice and new initiatives. So it's really good for buyers to meet suppliers, but it's just how you use that 10 minutes that is so important. So it's your chance, it's your time to impress, and it's your time to leave a lasting impression with that buyer. So use it really carefully, and don't just turn up to your 10-minute spot and go, hi, I'm Andrea, and then just go really silent. You've got to initiate the conversations. Imagine how many people they are meeting in an event like this. They're meeting supplier after supplier after supplier. So they don't want to do all the work. They're looking for you to turn up, sit down, and go in and initiate the conversations. Okay. So make sure you prepared some good questions to ask buyers. Okay. So some top tips, and there's quite a few of these, to get the best out of this event on the 18th of October, which is going to be fabulous. But there's loads more Meet the Buyer events happening. So find out where they are. Google Meet the Buyer Events London. Look on Chamber of Commerce websites. Look on LinkedIn if you're on LinkedIn. And if you're a business and you're not on LinkedIn, get on LinkedIn and search for Meet the Buyer and find out where these events are happening, because they really do work. They really do give you that opportunity to supply to these buyers. Okay. So once you've registered on the event and you've got your time slots, don't be late. please don't be late, because we know that, I mean, that does not set off a good impression at all if you turn up for your slot late. Now, depending on how the event's running, and sometimes the buyer might run over in a 10-minute slot, a minute or two, so you might be late sitting down, which might mean you're going to be late to your next appointment. Yeah, so if you know you're going to be 2 minutes late, you might just want to write a note for your next slot if it runs straight on, and let the next buyer have that as you're waiting to see the previous buyer. However, my best tip is don't book them all your slots immediately after each other. Book a 10-minute slot, give yourself a 10-minute break, and then book another 10-minute slot. Give yourself a break in between, just in case the buyer is running over slightly. Okay. Have a think about how you dress for the event. Now, as I said earlier, I organised a very big Meet the Buyer event in the Midlands earlier this year. And most people turned up in business dress or smart casual attire, but polo shirts with their company logos on. You know, they were in some form of workwear or business attire. A couple of people did turn up in shorts and T-shirts with all sorts of stuff written all over them. And I did kind of go, if I was a buyer, I don't know whether that would give me the right impression. And it does all depend on what you do. And I'm not saying don't have a shirt on that displays your company logo. Absolutely do. But if it's smart, if it's a polo shirt, but just have a think about how you dress, because first impressions sometimes do count. And if you're dressed smartly with your company logo, etc., again, it's just that whole impression that you're making. Know the buyer, and that comes back to what I was saying earlier. Before the event, decide who you want to meet and do your research on that buyer. Google, go to their website, find out about that company. If you are sitting in front of that buyer and you can drop a couple of things in that you know about that company. Oh, I saw that you support the local young community, helping them you know, prepare for job interviews and that kind of thing. If you know that about that company, they will go, whoa, wow, you know that about me. And you can go, yeah, you know, been on your website and I've had a good look at your company because I wanted to make sure that I was right to supply your company. So I did my homework before the event. That will make such a fabulous impression. So know who you're talking to, know the company, and do some research and get some tidbits of information on each company or each buying organisation or each buyer that you're going to meet, and make notes of that. So that when you're in front of that buyer, you can say, oh, I see that your company's just won a big award. Or, oh, I can see that you came in the top 10 of best companies to work for last year. Whatever it is. And you can find out all that kind of information from the websites and their Facebook pages and their LinkedIn profiles, all on there. Okay. As I've already said, have your introductory pitch. In 30 seconds to 1 minute, you need to introduce yourself, your company or your product. Then you need to go on after that and give 3 top benefits of using you or your company, and a couple of key facts that will persuade that buyer to ask follow-up questions about you. You're not gonna sit in front of a buyer for 10 minutes and walk away with £1 million order on the day. That is unlikely. I'm sorry, I'm not being negative, but that is unlikely. What you want out of this 10 minutes is for them to grab their interest and then be interested in your company and go, you know what? There's mileage in us meeting again. There's mileage in us talking again and having a follow-up meeting. That's what you're after. Yeah, I mean, if you do get the £1 million contract in 10 minutes, please share your secret with me. I'd love to know how you did it. But if you don't, what you've got to aim for is to get that buyer to go, I'd like to meet with you again. You know, give me a call. Here's my card, and come and meet with me next week in my office. That's what you want. Yeah. So you need to make sure that your pitch to them is hard hitting and it's about the benefits of using you and key facts. Yeah, so there's a couple of examples just of that. So some benefits of using you. You know, if I was trying to sell to my local council and I was in that council's borough, we're a local company employing 10 people, so we contribute towards the local economy and reducing unemployment. So if you use me, you'll be local people that will be servicing your contract. That's a benefit, and it's a benefit to the council. Because we're based in the same borough as you, we can respond to your emergency requirements in under an hour. That means your customers are happier because we're getting to them quicker and dealing with their problem quicker, and it's reducing travelling miles, which is benefiting the environment and reducing carbon emissions. That's a benefit of using you as a local company. It could be a benefit because you are a specialist in your field and you've got highly acclaimed and experienced people working for you. Therefore, you will provide higher quality, higher productivity. So whatever the benefits are of that buyer using you, you need to pitch that at them and tell them. Yeah. And I said there, I think I said you need to have at least 3 benefits and 2 key facts. And there could be a key fact is, we are a financially secure company. Our credit score is over 60%. And a credit score is when you go to you can go to a website like Experian or Equifax, or there's lots of credit sites, and you can get a credit score on your company. And if you want to supply main contractors, large companies, and certainly the public sector, you will have to prove that your company is financially secure. Don't need to prove that you've got a 20-30 billion pound turnover. That's not what they're interested in. They're interested in, are you secure and financially sound? And a credit check will prove that. So that could be a fact about your company. Our company is financially secure with a credit score of over 60%. So you need to do that if that's what you're going to use. And another fact would be, we have all our insurances in place. We have public employers and product insurances of 10 million in place with Aviva Insurance or Lloyds or whoever it is. And again, all those facts about your insurance and your credit score will be on your marketing summary that you will have filled in that we spoke about earlier. So there's some examples of benefits and facts. But these all need to be in your pitch. You can't sit in front of a potential buyer of your goods and services and say, I really think you should use us because we're really good. Because I probably wouldn't use you if you just told me you were really good. I want to know why you're good. Why should I use you? Prove to me that you're good. Prove to me that you're local. Prove to me how many people you employ. So have a think about hitting them with some real benefits of using you, your company, and some facts about your company. Okay, so back to top tips. Number 5, know your own company numbers, and these are all going to be on your marketing summary that you have prepared. So don't get caught out, as I said earlier, by not knowing your turnover, your profit margin on your product, your value of your current contract. You might say, oh, and we already supply a university. We supply London City University. And they go, okay, what did they spend with you last year out of interest? And you go, and you're back to that Dragon's Den moment of like not knowing. So get your marketing summary completed with all these statistics, figures, and values. Okay. Make sure you've got something to show and leave behind with a buyer. Yeah. It could be a case study of another contract that you run or another client that you look after that's given you. It could be a testimonial on it. It might just be a business card. You've got your marketing summary, so you can leave that with them. You might have some products if you are a supplier of goods, products, marketing, pens with logos on them, drinks bottles with logos on them. You might want to take a small bag with you with some products if you're selling products, so that you can show them the quality of your product in your pitch. You've got 10 minutes. Here's a drinks bottle. It's a solid drinks bottle. It can have your logo on it. You might want to pitch your products to them. Obviously, depending on what you sell. If you sell cars, you might not be able to carry too many cars into the Meet the Buyer event. Put them on the car park, but don't know whether they're going to have time to see them. So then you're going to have to rely on photographs and testimonials and case studies. So have a think about what you can leave behind. You've got your marketing summaries about your company. You can attach a business card to it. You can leave that behind, but think about anything else that you can leave behind with the buyer that will leave a lasting impression after the event, and that might prompt them to pick up the phone and go, actually, I was really impressed with you at that event, and I'd like to meet you again. Can you come and out? Can we have a meeting next week? That's what you're after. Okay. So I think hopefully you've got some passion for me today, but you've got to convey your passion. Don't sit in front of the buyer and go, my name is Andrea and I am the managing director of a tender writing company and I would like to do business with you. No passion. You need to be passionate. You need to demonstrate your conviction and your passion toward what you sell. And that will make them, it will endear them to you. It will make them want to talk to you more. It will make them it will make the 10 minutes fly by rather than the buyer going, oh, how long have we got to go? So be passionate, okay? And this is absolutely critical for me, is follow up after the event. So during your 10 minutes, at the end, as you're coming up to 9.5 minutes, you need to be saying, could I get your details, please? Your contact details, your office number, mobile, if they'll give you an email, LinkedIn, you know, can you link in? Can we link in right now while I'm sitting here? If I send you an invite on LinkedIn, can we do that now? Can I put your details? Can I take a photograph of your business card? Yeah, whatever it is, you need to get details of how you can follow up that meeting, and you need to follow up that meeting, and that might well just be literally a phone call 4 or 5 days after, 3 or 4 days after. It could be an email the day after you've met them. So you meet them at the event on the 18th, on the 19th you email them. It was fabulous meeting you yesterday. I really enjoyed our 10-minute conversation. I would love the opportunity to meet you again and show you more about who we are and what we can do for you. Can I please arrange a meeting with you next week? But you must follow up your meeting, because they will have met possibly 30, 40 companies that day. You need to leave the lasting impression. And if you follow up, not everybody will. In fact, most people never follow up a meeting. And for me, it's a massive wasted opportunity. Okay, so there's 8 top tips there. There's your marketing summary you've got to prepare, and your research you've got to do on all your buyers. So that is being prepared in order that you will get the best out of this event on the 18th, plus any other Meet the Buyer events you go to, because they all follow a similar format, albeit they might not be exactly the same, but they're all buyers in a room, suppliers in a room. Let's get together and network. And it's your time, your opportunity. So make the most of it. Right, I think we've got some question and answers. So I don't know. I know somebody else was going to come on, or Carly was going to come on, I believe, and talk about the event on the 18th. And I know we've got some representative from the London Borough of Newham here as well, and Naj is here. So if you just want to take over for a second, Naj, I'm going to read the questions and then I'll come back on it in a second and answer them, if that's all right.
No worries. Thank you. Thanks all for listening in. Very insightful. Carly, I don't know if you're on, if you joined. Rahina, are we able to check if Carly's joined?
You might need to unmute Carly.
She is here. We just need to unmute her, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to share a couple of more slides about obviously what we do and other events, but we've just got Carly from
I think Carly can speak now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Carly,
I'm here.
I'll hand over to you, so you can go ahead. Do you want to allow her to share her video, if that's okay, Rahina?
Yeah, she's a panelist now, so she should be able to.
Okay, great.
Carly, are you able to share? Come on, video. I think we've lost her.
Okay, while she's waiting, well, if hopefully she comes back, do you want to share the last 2 slides that I sent, Rahina?
Yeah. Oh, Carly's on.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Sorry,
Okay,
I don't know what happened
Carly,
there.
back to
It
you.
had us as rejoining.
That's fine, no worries. Over to you, Carly, to promote the event that's coming up.
Yeah, no problem. So as you've all heard, we've got the East London Meet the Buyer event. It's coming up on Tuesday, the 18th of October, and we're over at the Excel. We'll be starting around 9 o'clock in the morning, and the meetings we expect to start at around 9:30. The event will run till around 4:30. As you've heard, all the great tips from Andrea on how the day kind of runs. It's all about having our buyers set up on their tables and our suppliers coming along to have 10-minute meetings with them. The meetings will be pre-arranged ahead of the event. How we do that is we have our buyers send in their buyer requirements, and then our suppliers that register, they basically let us know the services that they can offer. We will then pre-match everybody so that everybody's relevant, because the main aim to us is we don't want to waste anybody's time. As you've heard, you do have these 10-minute meetings, and we want them to be worthwhile. Basically, we don't want anyone to be sat there thinking it's not relevant for me. So say that will all be pre-arranged beforehand ahead of the event. You will get all your appointments beforehand as well, so you'll know what time slots you've got, who you've been able to be matched up with. Also at the event, we're going to have a few workshops going on. The agenda is to be finalised, but that will be sent out towards the date coming up. We also have plenty of networking opportunities, and there's also going to be a small exhibition running. So like I say, the day is pretty full. It is a free event as well. Sorry, I should have mentioned that at the beginning. It's a free event and lunch is provided. Just to give you a heads up of a few buyers that we've already got registered. We've got Jerem Fulgris, we've got London City Airport, HSS Hire, University of East London, we've got Lend-Lease, we've got Higgins, Telford Homes, Elkins Construction. That's just to name a few. There is others. If you go on the website, you can see everybody on there, and we keep updating that because we are expecting a few more to join us between now and the event. So yeah, as I say, there's plenty going on. Again, it is a free event, so everybody's welcome to join up, whether you're a buyer or a supplier. You just put in your requirements or your services that you offer, and then we'll get you matched up. So we hope to see you all along on the 18th.
And then they can register via Eventbrite.
Yes, sorry, yeah, it is also on Eventbrite, that's right, yeah. The website as well is East London's Meet the Buyers. If you search it through Google, you'll find it as well.
All the links are on the slides, Carly. I've already put
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Andrea.
Yeah, I covered all that at the beginning, and the links are on there for the website and for registration.
Lovely.
All right, thank you, Carly. Whilst Andrea goes through the questions, just going to share. So these are couple of other 2 events that are coming up. As Andrea advised, do look up obviously loads of others, but these are the 2 that there are lots of others, 2 others that we found that the team have found that are upcoming. And yeah, and then if you want to share our details. So obviously, like I said, we are the business and enterprise team. So we provide lots of other support as well. So we do go into our section. Obviously, we've got a QR code, so I won't go through everything. We've got a contact number as well. So our support ranges from obviously startups, supporting businesses, linking them towards other departments within the council, from planning to trading standards to business rates. We've got a business directory as well, which businesses can join. We send out an update. So if you've not been joined to the update, please email us and we'll add you. We also have other support, including obviously climate change. So we've got a section there. Due to the current climate, we do have a cost of living section there as well, landing page. So you can look at that and see, where you could potentially, as a business, save money. We also provide e-business support, so helping businesses to get online. So if you want to find out about that, do contact us as well. I'll go on about other stuff, but do please, check our website, and that's our contact details. Look forward to hearing from you, but also obviously comments about what other things you might want to see us deliver and how you find the training would be also helpful. Andrea, back to you.
Yeah, okay. I've got some fabulous questions, so I'll just whiz through these. Laurie Nichols has asked me, she said that she's a training provider. They're delivering accredited and endorsed courses, and would my type of business qualify for this project? Absolutely. Yes, absolutely it would. I would definitely register. Their councils but use training services. Lots of construction companies use training services. So yeah, absolutely, you would. So get along to the event, do your research on your buyers, Universities, lots of training stuff goes on at universities as well. So absolutely, I would be going if I were you, Laurie, definitely. Somebody's asked, do buyers disengage from companies if they're not local? Buyers can choose who they use, however, they have to have a quota of local companies within their supply chain. So it does give local companies a good opportunity to supply. They won't disengage from companies that aren't local, but they are looking to deal with local companies. So there's a bit of both goes on, to be fair. So hopefully that answers that. Somebody's asked, my company services are design and digital marketing. Would it be appropriate to bring an iPad in case the buyer wants to see relevant examples? Yes, absolutely. Take that iPad along. That will be brilliant. Have all your samples on there. Your websites have links to, but have it set up so it's very quick, so you're not fumbling around and trying to find different links. Just have one page with all on your marketing summary with all your links on to your dummy sites, and just bang straight, and so it's all together. But absolutely take that iPad with you. What if you have more than one company? Esther has asked me. If you've got more than one company, I would probably ask Carly to help with this one, but you will have to book your slots for each company. So if you're representing three companies, you're going to have to, you don't have 3 slots with the same buyer. I don't know, Carly, how would you manage that? I would be saying,
yeah, you would need to be separate, because otherwise you're never going to get all 3 rammed into one 10-minute slot. So it's best to go with 3 companies. If you've got 3 people that can do each company, that would be even better. If it is just yourself, by all means, register all 3. The only issue you may have is when the appointments get fed back to you, because you are looking at 3 separate companies, you may find some of them are overlapping. If you do this and you do find that, just get in touch with myself. So my name's on all of the emails, and I'll be able to look into each one and see if we can move things around. But that would definitely be the way forward, to do them all separately.
Brilliant. So hopefully we've answered that one for you, Esther. What if you are in the first year of business and your credit score will be 0? Yeah, it's a tough one, Paula. I totally understand that. If you want to deal with the public sector, definitely you're going to need to have some way of proving your financial stability. You might be able to get a guarantor. Your bank might be able to give you a guarantee. You might be able to prove your first year's trading. You need something. So you do need some figures, because it certainly to deal with the public sector. It doesn't matter if you're a new startup, that's fine, but you will still need to have some kind of way of proving that you have your finances in the right place, your business plan, your guarantor from your bank, your loan agreement from your bank, something that will show that you are secure. Okay, that's what they're interested in. They can't be seen to be dealing with companies that are not financially secure. Okay. When will we find out our schedule for one-to-ones with the buyers? Carly will help you with that. Once you're booked on, you will be sent that. Is that right, Carly?
Yeah, so we're currently taking everybody's appointments in now. They're not being organised just yet, though there is still time. Next week is this Friday we'll be closing the portal. So everybody's preferences will all be picked, hopefully by Friday. There may be a few that we have to chase up on, but basically next week we will be organising all of the appointments, and we expect to send them all out by the end of next week. So that's next Friday, the 14th, I believe it is. So you should have all of your appointments by next Friday the 14th, so you'll know exactly who you're meeting with and at what times, and you've got a few days. Obviously you've got all that weekend, and you've got the Monday to prepare for what you want to do.
Brilliant. Thank you, Carly. Can you confirm again where the event will be held? It's at the Excel in London on the 18th of October. So, but again, you will be sent all the joining instructions, I'm sure, parking, all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
that'll all be sent out. Yeah,
brilliant. So that's yeah, we've done that one. Will there be any food, desserts and catering buyers? Well, I do know already that there's one. There's the Good Hotel is a buyer, because that's on the event page. So the Good Hotel Group, and also councils buy food. Councils have hospitality. Councils have schools. Councils buy all sorts of food. So lots of stuff going on. There's also an organisation there. One serve, I think it is. So yeah, yes. Again, have a look on the website of the buyers that are attending, but there are definitely some buyers there. Universities, loads and loads of food bought at universities for events, for all sorts of things. So yeah, there's definitely an opportunity if you're a food supply company to get some business out of this event. We're a mobile phone electronics recycling company. Will the event be good for us? We sell refurbished mobiles and we also recycle devices. Absolutely. In fact, recycling the environment, it's a huge thing at the moment. So if you can offer that that service to large construction companies, to councils, to other big organisations, to pick up old mobile phones, recycle, or it's definitely there. Get your marketing template written, get your benefits written down, and go to that event and make some appointments, because yeah, I would certainly be interested in that. Definitely. Okay, is there any more? Probably got about another 2 minutes, I think, because we did start a little bit late. So is there any more? There's a few on the chat. Design and marketing we've done. Will we be limited to only meeting 3 buyers, Carly? Is that correct?
No, I can't give you a number exactly, because it literally comes down to how many registered or how many matches there are made. But we expect most suppliers to have anything from 3 to 7 or 8 meetings. It just literally depends on the numbers and how the matching goes. But there's no set limit. We just don't know until we do that matching.
Brilliant. I'm just looking in the chat now and there's lots of thank yous. So thank you for your thank yous. I really, really appreciate that. Domiciliary care for adults. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. So Ahmed, absolutely get yourself along to this event, because you've got at least 5 councils there and they all use domiciliary care and social and services for adults and young people. So absolutely get yourself along to the event. There's something for everybody. Councils buy everything. So there's not many of you that are going to be sitting there going, oh, I wonder if they buy what I sell. The answer is yes, without me even knowing what you sell, because councils buy everything. So get yourself along to the event, but be prepared. Don't just turn up and expect to, you know, get some work. That's not going to happen. So be prepared, get your marketing summary, which you will be emailed out after this event, ready, and just make the most of the event. Thanks everybody for your time. Been great, and I hope you all get the most out of the event, and drop us a line and let us know if you get those meetings or if you get that $1 million contract.
Right, thank you, Andrea, very helpful. So yes, but like we will send this slides over. Yeah, I mean, just key thing messages, I guess, don't assume just by the name of the organization, like that's all they do. They have different departments and different things within the organization. So take on her advice. So yep, look forward to some comments, and yeah, we'll get in touch with us. Yeah, thank you everyone, and well, we'll see you soon.
See you on the 18th of October at the Excel. Enjoy the event, everybody.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.